Figure skating fans, it is the Grand Prix season. Once again, welcome everyone to Ice Desk here at 2019 Skate America, presented by American Cruise Lines. We are so excited to have you here with us along for the ride this weekend at the Orleans Arena here in beautiful Las Vegas. The Strip is just a couple miles away. The glitz and the glam of this city, well, they're going to pour out onto over the ice this coming weekend as the best in the world take to the ice for the first ISU Grand Prix Series event of the season. We've got our usual cast of characters here at the Ice Desk, Michael Weiss and Brooke Castile. You guys, welcome back. Can you believe that we're into the Grand Prix season already?
No, I can't. The off-season, it seems to be quicker and quicker every single year.
Mike, how are you feeling about your season? You ready?
I'm in good shape. I had a good off season.
Yes.
I've been lifting a lot of weights, focusing in on those quads.
Yeah, right. And the new hairdo.
Yeah, been. Do you know how much money I've saved in shampoo and haircuts over the last 2 years? Thousands.
A lot.
I advise you guys should do it. Brooke,
a lot
you look
of
great.
dollars. Brooke, you would look great with a shaved head.
I think I could pull it off. You just have to have a lot of confidence, right?
Yes.
And pretty bad jokes.
There we go.
Check
Confidence and jokes. I like that. There'll be some Vegas-themed jokes this coming weekend. We are certain of that. You also noticed we had that missing chair. That's because Bradie Tennell is going to be joining us here momentarily. Now, if you guys are tuning in on the U.S. Figure Skating Facebook or YouTube, you know the drill, and we're going to be with you here all weekend long. From tomorrow afternoon, we're going to have shows before and after each competition. We're also going to do that on Saturday as well. You can go ahead and take a look now at our broadcast schedule. This is just for Friday. Tomorrow, we're going to be right here with you. Brooke Castile is going to help us break down the pairs event featuring 3 of the American teams. And then, of course, the headliner in the men is going to be Nathan Chen. That's tomorrow afternoon, and then we've got more rolling through in the evening. These are all local times here. It is Pacific time out here in Las Vegas. You've got the dance and the ladies. We also have Shanae Kerr as part of our team this weekend. She'll be helping us with the dance. And you see that hashtag there, hashtag IceDeskAnswers. Use that hashtag on social media, and we're going to try to get your voices included as much as we can this coming weekend. So really excited to have all of you along for the ride. And what we're doing here, it's the first time we've done a full weekend preview show. And we're first off, we kind of have to, you guys, we almost have to start with Nathan Chen and the men because, well, it's Nathan Chen, and we were actually discussing this, Mike, before we came on air. There's not a lot to say about Nathan Chen because he just continues to be so good. He debuted that Rocket Man free skate at Japan Open and thrilled a lot of people with the mid-program hip-hop footwork that he's got this season.
Yeah, the program was choreographed by Marie-France Dubray, and just when you think Nathan can't push himself more artistically or technically, he does. And I think the thing, everybody talks about Nathan. Everything, he's fantastic at the jumps. He's fantastic at the skating. He's fantastic at balancing his life and going to school at Yale. All these things that he does well, and he's still a down-to-earth guy, and he's still trying to improve and get better. And I think the thing that he's done so well in the last couple seasons is he starts off with Skate America. He gets comfortable with new programs, and he builds as the season goes on. Some people go out and they're so excited at the start of the season, and they just blow their wad at Skate America, and it starts to go downhill. By the time they get to Nationals and Worlds, they're burned out. He's the exact opposite. When with his coach Raphael Artunian, they build and they prepare for the end of the season, the World Championships being the pinnacle, and he does that very well. And his quest for his 3rd world title starts right here.
Yeah, it's really impressive the way he knows what works for him, and he's okay just sticking with that. Even if some people might say, "Oh, he doesn't look ready. He's in school. Is he going to be trained?" He doesn't care. He knows what works. He sticks to it, and every year we're blown away.
Well, it's going to be a big weekend, obviously, for Nathan Chen. But why don't we just bring Bradie Tennell right in? She's just hanging out here off of the desk, and we're talking about one U.S. champ, and here's another one. This is your microphone, and hey, welcome to Ice Desk. How are you doing here in Las Vegas?
I'm good. It's Vegas, baby.
It is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's awesome. I'm super excited to be here.
Now, this summer you had a little bit of a blip with that broken foot. So tell us about that situation, but it seems as though you've really come through on the other side of that. We saw you a couple weeks ago at Japan Open.
Yeah, so I've been having foot pain probably since last Nationals, but I was like, oh, it's fine, it'll go away. It never went away. So I finally it finally got bad enough to the point where I was like, okay, this isn't working. And like at the beginning of July, I was like, okay, I need to get this looked at. And they were like, well, it's cracked. I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
So, it kind of just brought me down. And I was like, all right, now I need to like rethink my season. Like at that point, the Grand Prix had already been assigned. So I was like, all right, well, what can I do to like heal myself and be ready for the Grand Prix season? So I came back to full training about a month ago. And a month is not a very long time.
No, it's not.
But I'm excited to be here, and I'm ready.
Well, tell us a little bit about the programs that you have planned for this season.
Okay, so they're both very different from each other and from last year, which I'm very excited about because I feel like every year it's important for me to take on a new challenge and show that I have more than one dimension. My long program is Cinema Paradiso, and it's very soft and elegant, and it's like almost wistful.
Right.
And my short program is like a fun, flirty number that I get to be a little sassy in.
Nice.
So I'm very excited to show that.
That's going to be a fun side to see. We haven't really seen that yet with
Yeah.
you. So the Grand Prix season's starting. It's starting to get intense. You're back to training. Did you have any time to do anything fun in the off season?
Yes, actually, I was touring with Stars again this year, which is always a super fun experience. And then after Stars was done, I did some more shows around the country a little bit, and just for some small clubs and things. So, yeah, it was like
Still fun on the ice. Anything
Yes.
off the ice?
I went to Six Flags.
Nice.
Nice.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you love thrills? Do you love roller
Yes,
coasters?
I love roller coasters.
I'm not surprised. I can tell just by the way you skate.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Okay, so I'm not the figure skating expert here, so I always ask that sort of question of big expectations or the big picture. So now when you look at your season, you've come out the other side of that broken foot. How do you look at your season this year, and what do you want out of it?
Well, obviously, the end goal is national champion and world podium. But for me, I think in dealing with this injury, I've really had to kind of rethink the way that I think about my season. It's more of, I kind of set my goals and, they change and they adapt as the season progresses, just like I do. So it's kind of like I have to just take one thing at a time, and when something happens, it's like, all right, it happened for a reason. That's life. Just move forward and move past it.
The other thing we were kind of talking about in preparing for this show is the way that you can feel the technical demands on the ladies, especially this year, feels like it's gone up. How much do you
Yeah.
feel like that on yourself? And are you working on anything in practice that we might not necessarily see out here on competition ice?
Again, I think I just have to stick to what's best for me and my body as far as keeping myself healthy and everything. I've had to take that into closer consideration now
Sure.
than I did before. So, again, my goals on that may have changed. But, never say never.
Yeah, and I think like you've been challenging yourself last year with the Triple Lutz Triple Loop, putting that in and out of the program a little bit. Is that something you'll be focusing on this season here at Skate America, or Triple Lutz Triple Toe? Where technically are you there?
Right now, I am just doing the Triple Lutz Triple Toe because my injury was on my right foot.
Right.
So I'm kind of trying to limit the amount of pounding I'm putting on my foot right now, just because I'm still being cautious a little bit. It's like the mental side of an injury, where you're cleared and everything, but you feel like you're not quite out of the woods yet.
Yeah, because I've been there too. I've had stress fractures in my ankles, and I know you kind of feel sometimes like you physically can do it, but mentally you don't want to push it so hard that you're right back to where you are.
Exactly.
So there's that dance that you play of I got to push
Exactly.
myself, but not too hard that I'm back to square one again. Well, your emphasis has been a lot always on your beauty, your great lines, and your programs and your performance. So I'm interested to see this new short program and
Thank you.
how well it will be received by the judges and see that
Yeah.
side of your skating.
Thank you.
Is it a weird feeling because Japan Open free skate only, and so this would be the debut for the short program, right? So is that a weird feeling not to have put that out, but your free skate has been seen?
Yeah. It's weird because I've been so excited for this short program all year, and then it was like, nobody's seen it yet. Nobody's still seen it. Nobody's seen it. So now I feel like the anticipation is like so high, and I'm like, all right, you know what? It just needs to be out there already. Like.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. We're excited for you this coming weekend and this season, and best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. So Bradie Tennell there joining us here on Ice Desk. We're going to have guests all weekend long, of course, all series long. And let's go ahead and get back and talking about the men. We started, of course, about Nathan Chen and the success that he's had. He comes in as reigning world champion, defending champion. But you also have two other Americans here this coming weekend. Jason Brown and Alex Krasnozhan will both be here in Las Vegas for Skate America. And Jason Brown actually coming off of a little bit of a scary moment. He was in a car accident in August. He had concussion symptoms through the weeks following that, missed Champs Camp. You guys, how impactful is something like that when you're an athlete and you have an injury? Bradie's just talking about a broken foot, but concussions can be pretty scary.
Well, they're scary also because you can't see them, you can't feel them. Like it can be there and it's not obvious, and you have to be really, really careful. And I think that it's important that for Jason, training is always a big deal for him. He's always really well trained, no problem getting through programs, and to have a couple months off coming into Skate America, he's definitely probably not feeling as comfortable as he normally does, especially when he's not relying on all these quads to get his score up. He's relying on a really well-trained, clean program. So I definitely think he's probably not feeling like himself.
We had him on the Ice Talk podcast this week, Mike. He said he's going to be about 80% this weekend, but he doesn't have those quads. And so it just kind of, it hurts him just sort of in all those other factors in his skating.
Well, that's where I think I'm a little concerned with Jason's ability to be successful here because, as we said in the past, we know where he shines. Great line, great artistry, great components, thrives at that. That's why he won the short program at the World Championships. Behind that. But now it's like, okay, now I'm coming back from a concussion. I'm not feeling as well, and I'm pulling back technically, where I'm already below the curve. You know, I'm below Nathan Chen. I'm below, I'm below Dmitry Ilyev. I'm below all these other guys technically, and now I'm pulling back from that. So that concerns me a little bit technically. But we all know where he shines. It shines in his energy, it shines in his charisma, and it shines in his program components. So if he can skate well here with the elements that he does do, he's hoping that people ahead of him maybe make mistakes. Technically, early in the season, guys trying quads, new stuff that they might not be real comfortable with. I don't see Nathan doing that, by the way. I see him skating clean. But then that's where I see him maybe struggling. But I could very easily see him on the podium here with two clean skates, with two triple axles, but no quad.
And I do have to say he looked good in practice today,
well,
Jason Brown.
And someone like Jason is not coming into Skate America like, oh my God, this is my breakthrough year.
Right.
I have to be great here to make a name for myself. He already has that. He's a veteran. So he has the luxury of saying, okay, I'm not 100%. That's fine. It is just a Grand Prix. It's not my first. And he can work his way up through Worlds and Nationals and, be safe. A concussion's a big deal. Be safe about it.
Yeah, certainly. There's also another American here, Alex Krasnozhan, and he's actually got a quad flip that he's been training and actually put out a few of them today in practice, which that's a jump that maybe Nathan Chen can do. Shoma Uno's done it in competition, but you don't see it very often in the men's field.
Yeah, and Alex at the U.S. Classic landed his first quad in competition, international competition, which was great. That kind of gets you some confidence, makes you feel well. He's always had the quad loop that's maybe been slight under rotation before. I've seen them around now. And the quad flip is beautiful and around and nice, and that's one that we haven't seen from him in competition. Didn't see that last year, and if he can hit that in a short program, he could maybe be a dark horse.
Yeah, kind of the opposite of Jason. Like this could be a breakthrough for him.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll watch for Krasnozhan there. Now, if you're someone that's betting out there, well, we don't necessarily encourage that, but Nathan Chen would be. You would want to roll the dice on Nathan Chen this coming weekend, but there's plenty of skaters. Also, you just look at this men's field in general. Keegan Messing, Jin Boyang, Michael Brzezinski, Junwan Cha, Dmitry Ilyev. I mean, that's a really good field.
It's like a repeat of 4 continents that we just
throw in
feels
some
like
Russians
was yesterday
there
that we were talking about.
Well, you can make an argument that any one of those guys can be on the podium. I think we are all in agreement that Nathan, this is his competition to lose, but everywhere else, second, third, fourth, like in that range, they could be mixed all up. I mean, Boyang Jin, that's a guy who could easily, he's
fourth at Worlds.
Yeah. Well, he could be fourth at Worlds or like last at Skate America. It just depends on the day with him. So it's really an exciting event because you don't know, especially with all these quads, The guys we were talking about earlier, the girls, these quads that are coming, which we will get to, they're consistent. Some of these guys, they can do 3-4 quads, but any given day it could also be like fall into the wall quad,
Yeah.
with your feet up in the air. Like, it just depends.
Right.
Yeah, and in the short program too, like Junwon Cha is doing another quad in his short program. He's added a second one to his short program. So we're seeing these guys add technical stuff. So as I said earlier with Jason Brown, it's like, okay, so Cha could go out there and maybe make a mistake on a new short program that has more technical elements to it. Jason skates a clean program. All of a sudden, he sees himself in a position higher, going into the free skate. So field's wide open.
And these are the best events, are the ones where it can be anyone's. I mean, Nathan, come on.
Anyone's silver.
Yes, anyone's silver.
Right.
But that's always so much fun to watch.
Is there any reason Nathan Chen walks away not as the winner this weekend?
Any reason? I mean, injury?
Yeah, he doesn't
Sure.
skate.
Yeah.
It doesn't skate or injury.
Alarm
Okay,
clock
got it.
doesn't go off. It happens.
He has an exam
I
on.
don't know.
Which is literally no knock at the rest of the field. I
No.
mean, he's
No,
the two-time
he's just.
that good.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
He's just that consistent and that good.
All right, so that's the men. If we go ahead and we're going to now put Brooke Castile on the hot seat because
gosh.
it's time to talk about the pairs. And this is a pairs field where the Americans have good opportunities. You look at Ashley Kane-Gribble alongside Tim LeDuc. They're the reigning U.S. champions. They come in with a podium shot here. Really, the top two teams internationally, you've got Peng Cheng and Jin Yang, the Chinese team, and you also have Daria Paliachenko and Denis Kodakin. They are the junior champions from a couple years ago, and you feel like they could be favorites here. They've just slowly improved these last couple seasons.
Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago they were junior champions, and every time I've seen them, they've improved like leaps and bounds better. So I'm really excited to see them here, especially with Zabiako and Enbert were supposed to be here. They were, I think, third at Worlds last year. And them being out, it's a great opportunity for all of these teams to set themselves up for a good first Grand Prix so they can make the final. But I think that Kane-Gribble, we have to add
There
that.
we go,
Yep.
add that Gribble.
Have to get used to that. Add that Gribble. Oh, man. I think they're coming off of a national champion win, which sometimes can be a little bit, it can go either way. You can come off and like, oh my gosh, I have so much I have to do now to make it into the world scene and to represent as national champions. Or you can use it as confidence and building and like as a nice wave and momentum into the next season. I think that's what they've done, and I'm pretty impressed with it. They just won Salt Lake International.
Yep.
They beat Peng and Jin there, who
Yep.
were third, and they also beat Trasova and Morozov, who are one of the best teams in the world and have been for the last 4 or 5 seasons. That's a big, big deal. That's not, we just won an international, but no one was really there. That's a huge deal. And I'm sure their scores were great, and they weren't even perfect, and they won. So I think this is a great opportunity for them here to hopefully make the final and make an impact.
Oh, interesting. So you think maybe Grand Prix final for them this season?
I think with the
That's
way
the next step for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the next natural step, next natural goal for them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they've been really smart with how they plan their season and what they do and how much they're seen. They do a lot of competitions. They're always really prepared, and they always have a really good plan, and they stick to it, and they adjust really well. And they've just been really smart leading up to their national win,
Right.
and now internationally making a big mark.
I'm always interested too how like when things outside of skating, when those things are going well for you, how that carries over to the ice. Like she's just married in the off season, as you were mentioning, her new last name. And Timothy LeDuc and both of that, they seem very happy in life.
Yes.
And coming off the national championship, what an emotional win for them last year. I
Yeah.
thought it was huge. What
well,
a
she
great
had the
moment.
concussion in December.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Coming back from that adversity to win the national championship for the first time. And they seem like they're in a really good place off the ice, and I'm interested to see if that momentum and that energy continues to transfer onto the ice. But I'm actually interested also in Haven Denny and Brandon Frazier because they're in the opposite seat. We're like, okay, we wanted that national title and we didn't get it. Now are they more inspired, more motivated to work hard and get that national title? This competition at Skate America, 2 years in a row, they were second a couple years ago. So they're very comfortable at Skate America. They like competing here. They've proven that. And they're going back to a Lion King free skate that's been revamped, and they're ending.
It
and
looks
it's a really
amazing.
cool
Yeah.
ending that's really done well with John Zimmerman and Sylvia Fontana doing the choreography and coaching there. And, I'm excited to see them. Maybe they're going to, push Ashley and Timothy.
It's interesting because you look at Kane, Gribble, Leduc, and the way that they've slowly risen, right? But this season they come in with a lot of expectations from the outside. They're reigning national champs. They won the bronze medal here last year. How does that dynamic change for them? And as Mike brings up, the fact that you've got Brandon and Haven, and then we also have Jessica Callalang and Brian Johnson are here for the U.S. You've got a whole lot of U.S. teams that now are chasing Kane, Gribble, and Leduc. You don't necessarily
think
feel
so.
like that
No, I
impacts
think-
them at all?
The other U.S. teams?
No, I just think that maybe the pressure is different on Ashley and Tim this season.
I think the pressure is different. I think they know how to handle it.
Okay.
I could be wrong. It
Yeah,
is
but
Skate
why-
America.
why
It
do you
would be the
think they're-
first time you've been wrong.
It would be.
First ever?
No, it would be.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
I was
first
going to
time.
give you first time. You were? Okay.
No. I just think that the way they've come since their partnership started, they've just slowly made their way through. They're not ever looking for a breakthrough. They're not ever trying to just like slam onto the scene and like we're here and we're going to try to hold it. They started off technically with really good elements, landing their jumps, which has been a problem with the U.S. They land their jumps. They're pretty consistent with that. They don't make big mistakes. Maybe a hand down here on a throw or a toe down, maybe an under rotation on a jump, but they're not popping, they're not falling, they're not having all these huge mistakes that American pairs tend to do. And so they're becoming known for consistency. And in pairs, that's how you work your way up internationally. And they've done that a little bit every season. They've not tried to do it all at once. And I just feel like they have all the groundwork laid to kind of just continue working in that direction.
It'll be interesting to see for them. We're obviously going to keep a close eye on all of that. So that's pairs. Now we do have this empty seat next to us. Shanae Kerr is with us this weekend, but a quick note on dance, and it really does feel like this field for Madison Hubble and Zachary Donahue, it is theirs to win. You do have, though, Alexandra Stepanova and Yvonne Buchan, who won 4th place at Worlds. They were just 2 points off the podium against Hubble and Donahue last year at Worlds. They're here. Azar Zagurski-Guerrero, you have Smart Diaz, you've got Fournier, Boudreau, and Sorensen. You also have the American teams in Carrera Ponomarenko and Caroline Green and Michael Parsons. That's a new duo. Obviously, Michael and Rachel no longer skating together. But guys, if we look at Hubble Donahue, didn't skate a challenger. This is their very first event of the season. They've got fun programs, including their free skate is A Star is Born. This is a team that seems to feed off of confidence coming off of that world bronze medal last season.
Yeah, I think they have a new confidence. I mean, I think the biggest hurdle for them was winning the national title, the U.S. national title, because you know how strong the U.S. teams are in ice dancing. And for them to overcome that and to finally win that national title and then to take that confidence and win the bronze medal at the World Championships, I think they're kind of riding the wave of confidence and feeling good about themselves. And I think this free dance for them, Star is Born, I'm really anxious to see how well it's received from the audience and from the judges, because I think it could be a great program for them.
I'm anxious to see if I can not cry during the program because it's A Star is Born.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
That's it. But
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I can't wait.
It looked good in practice today.
Any great team like them, that's what you look forward to. You
Yeah.
want to see their programs. It's
Right.
ice dance. That's what it's all about, is what music they choose and how they choose to interpret it. And I'm really, really excited, and we haven't seen them yet this year. So
Yeah,
it's interesting that they didn't do a
They said they just wanted the time
Yeah, that's
to get
great.
ready. So you've got Stepanova Buchan, I think, who will be kind of nipping at their skate boots to try to get that gold medal.
Which last year they didn't have. Last year, both of their Grand Prix, they were like clear
Favorites.
favorites by like 25 points. So I think it's good for them to actually have that competition and people nipping at their heels to keep them feeling like they're in intense competition all season, because last year they got to 4 continents. All of a sudden, all these good teams were there for the first time for them. And they were 4th at for confidence.
For confidence. There you go.
Not for them.
It is our opening show, after all. So
So I think it's great for them to have a little bit more competition and a little bit more of a stacked field here.
it's interesting, too, because Brooke and I were talking before, Brooke, about Fournier, Boudreau, and Sorensen, and the fact that this Canadian team is trying to put up some good results for them to climb in the Canadian scene, too.
Yeah, I mean, they really came onto the scene last season. They were one of my favorites last season. I really enjoyed watching them. I always thought actually they should have been maybe a little higher every time they competed. I thought they were underscored. So I'm curious this year, coming in as the number 2 Canadian team, if their scores will be boosted up a little bit and to see how they do. I think they're great and they have all the right ingredients and they have potential to really kind of skyrocket this year. But it's not up to me.
Okay. Yeah, no, it isn't up to you.
Even though I'm always
Thankfully.
right, it's not up to me. What do you mean, thankfully?
You're full of for confidence, whatever that means. This is the kind of thing that we do on Ice Desk, and guess what? It's our first show of the season, everybody. Let's end. I feel like we kind of saved the best for last. The ladies this weekend, so exciting, especially to see Anna Sherbakova, the youngster at 15. She was second at Junior Worlds. She has been a staple already on the Russian scene. She, Kosternaya, and Trusova, they're the breakthrough trio this year in ladies figure skating, and this is a great field. There are a lot of skaters here, Michael Weiss, that we're very excited to see, but they're all going to be chasing Sherbakova, who already comes in, at least from my perspective, at 15 as the odds-on favorite here this weekend.
Yeah, she is, and I think let's just cut to the chase. This is like the Russian women. This is their competition. And it's kind of Russian skating is taking over, and it's all these youngsters that are coming up and doing it, and the occasional Japanese like Kiori Sakamoto here, could be on the podium, but I just don't see her challenging the other 2 Russians as far as technically. Those girls are amazing. Tuktamisheva triple axels this afternoon in practice are unbelievable. I mean, easier than I've ever seen her do them.
Wow.
It's amazing that she goes into and out of them with difficult entries, difficult exits, and just really quick snap, quick pop, light flow, easy landing. Like I know she can do them, and she has done them like that. I haven't seen her do that many as she's doing right now with that much ease.
They just look easy. They look easy for her.
And right now, to just see a whole overview of the ladies' event, like I said, it's the Russians, Japanese, and it's kind of the Americans on the outside looking in. And it's unfortunate because the only person that can really challenge anybody here from the United States, the only person that can challenge these Russians with all these quads is somebody who's not allowed to be here, Alyssa Liu, because she's too young to compete in the senior circuit. So it's unfortunate, but that's the direction that women's skating is going. It's getting younger and bigger and better with these jumps technically.
We already saw Alyssa Liu. She qualified for the Junior Grand Prix final. She put out a quad this season on the Junior Grand Prix. We mentioned Sherbakova, Tuktamisheva, and her triple axel. We also have Ensu Lim is here, Kaori Sakamoto, as Mike mentioned. You've got Karen Chen, Amber Glenn, and we had Bradie Tennell on the show here. What are those American girls, women, ladies going to have to try and do this weekend to be on the podium?
I think Bradie, she has been hurt, and that's a bummer. But I think what she said was really smart. It was really interesting when she said how she's changing her plans and what she has to do to be healthy. You want to stay healthy because you don't know how long these girls are going to be around, right? Every year it's a different Russian girl that's taking the top spot. Someone like Bradie, she has longevity. She can be around, another Olympic cycle even after this one. And it's important that you give your body the chance to do that. And I think it's really smart that she's thinking long game, big picture, not just this season.
I think that the U.S. women, their only shot at medaling is going to be skate clean and hope other people make mistakes.
I think the short program is key too, because we found you're not allowed to do a quad in the short. So all of these girls who have these quads can't do them in the short program. So someone like if you can
do a quad in the short program.
No, so if you can stay close in the short or win the short, I think that's a really good strategy. Let's try to beat them in the short. Maybe we can't in long, but you never know what happens. They can fall. They don't, but
they can. But they
can't.
I see Tuktamisheva going in and winning the short program because her triple axel. Is just solid. She's allowed to do it. The women are not allowed to do a quad in the short program.
And you have to have an axle in the program.
Sure. Right. So technically she has an advantage.
That point
there.
advantage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But in the free skate, it's going to be a different story. Now Sherbakova now has the quad lutz. She has triple combinations, multiple ones.
Yep.
Triple lutz, triple loop. She's doing late in the program, multiple combinations. So technically, she has the advantage. But artistically, she doesn't quite have the maturity of Tuktamisheva. So that'll be interesting. But can she technically overcome the lack of components with just so much technical components, so much technical point totals that she overcomes it, which I believe she will.
And it's interesting because when you said she was junior world silver medal, Normally, you'd be like, oh, yeah, they silver at Junior Worlds. No, that's a big deal because Junior
Yeah.
Worlds last year was better than Senior Worlds. So if you're second
crazy.
at Junior Worlds, that's a huge deal. And she also won Russian Nationals last year. And you know how, I mean, the Russian field is crazy. I think Medvedeva was like 10th
Yeah.
or something. So, I mean, coming here is like nothing for her. It's these girls are.
It's still that pressure of a senior Grand Prix.
They
right?
don't feel pressure. She's
Come
15.
on, she has to feel it. Okay, so here's my question as we
When
wrap
you
up
skate,
here.
when you train with these other girls every day,
It doesn't feel
you
that
don't,
way?
You don't feel it.
Okay, I'm gonna take your word for it.
I'm always right.
Yes, you are. As I guess I pointed. I don't know who pointed that out. Here's
It
what
was
I want to
me.
do. We're closing up here on our first edition of Ice Desk. What's big this weekend? I mean, just overall, it's the first Grand Prix of the season. They're going to be in Canada next week. Some of these skaters won't skate again until mid or late November. Some of them will skate next week. But this is the first Grand Prix of the season. What are you watching for?
It's different goals for different people, but as I said before with Nathan's trying to build onto a season. He's trying to get this win under his belt, get points so that he can get to the Grand Prix final. For somebody like Sherbakova, I mean, it's her opportunity to win a Grand Prix event at the senior level and to kind of get that ball in her senior career started. It's different for everybody, but it's always the same thing. Skate America is the first event of the year. Get out there, be comfortable with new programs, skate well, so that you can peak at the end of the year at the World Championships.
And it's a good opportunity to create buzz for yourself, to be talked about, whether you're on the podium or not, even if it's within your own country, because you are competing against other people from your own country, even if you're not on the podium. And I think just it's a good opportunity for people, especially these Russian girls, and to kind of lay down, okay, who's next? I'm going to do it here at the first one, and then we're going to lay down what the standard is now for women's skating, and let's see what the next one can do, and the next one after that. It's Skate Canada, and then, on and on, and
Right.
who knows what they'll be doing by Worlds.
Anything you can do, I can
do better. Exactly.
That's the theme this weekend for the ladies. Michael Weiss, Brooke Castile, Nick McCarville here. We're going to be with you all weekend long. Shanae Kerr is going to be giving us all of her expertise on the ice dance as well. It's Skate America 2019 presented by American Cruise Lines. Now, early tomorrow morning, no matter where you are, at 9 a.m. local time, 9 a.m. Pacific, join me and a special guest for Wake Up Skate America. That'll be live on the U.S. Figure Skating social channels, I believe on Facebook Live, and we'll be very, very excited to start the day and start the weekend right there. Okay, so that's it. That is our first edition of Ice Desk. We're so excited to have you guys along for the ride, and we will talk to you very soon from Las Vegas. Thanks for hanging out.